Life as Play, a message for living joyfully. Today, I want to share with you a truly remarkable story. Last month, an elderly gentleman said something to his grandson that stopped him in his tracks. "Son," he said, "I've lived 80 years and I've come to realize something. Life is play." The grandson was startled. "Grandpa, what do you mean play? So I don't have to study or work?" What the grandfather said next was extraordinary. No. Study is play. Work is play. Even dying is play. Do you understand what he means? By the end of today's story, your perspective on life will be completely transformed. The awakening. Here's what's truly amazing. This grandfather had spent his entire life being far too serious. In his youth, he worked from dawn until late at night, rarely smiling. How did such a man come to this realization? Here's where the first secret is revealed. At 75, he fell gravely ill. The doctors told him he didn't have much time left. In that moment, he thought to himself, "What have I been doing all this time? I made money, but was I happy? I succeeded, but did I enjoy it?" Looking back on his life from that hospital bed, he felt only regret. But then he heard children playing outside his window. Their laughter rang out pure, uninhibited joy. Listening to that sound, the grandfather had an epiphany. Ah, that's what life is. I've been on life's playground all along, but instead of playing, I've only worked. Miraculously, the grandfather recovered completely. His doctors called it a miracle. And from that moment on, his life changed entirely. A new way of living. The grandfather began doing something unusual. Every morning, he'd look in the mirror and say, "What shall I play at today?" At first, his family worried. Had the illness affected his mind? But as time passed, something remarkable happened. The grandfather became healthier than before. His relationships with family improved. Most importantly, a smile never left his face. This was the power of understanding that life is play. But here's the crucial question. Does play mean doing nothing, just lounging around all day? Absolutely not. This is where a tremendous secret lies hidden. Birth entering the playground. Birth is opening the door to an enormous playground. Imagine when a baby is born, with that first cry, they enter the playground called this world. On that playground, we spend our days learning to cry and to laugh. Some build sandcastles. Others hang from the monkey bars, gazing at the sky. Still others simply sit on a bench, eyes closed, feeling the breeze. There's no right or wrong way to play. What matters is, are you playing in your own way? Here's something remarkable. Play may seem light, but the truth within it is profound. Watch a child running. Is it just fooling around? No. That moment is a sacred scene where the essence of life reveals itself. When you watch children play, it's truly wondrous. They lose track of time, living each moment with their whole body. Adults were once like that too. But when did we become so heavy? Here's where the third secret emerges. While playing, we temporarily shed the weight of time. Yet simultaneously, we inscribe life's meaning into our very being. This is the paradox of play. When we're lightest, we learn the deepest things. What does it mean to play well? Some people think playing well means spending lots of money traveling to expensive places, eating fancy meals, seeing shows. But this is a huge misconception. Let me tell you another remarkable story. There was an elderly woman who lived in poverty her entire life. She never traveled, never wore nice clothes, rarely ate out. Yet on her deathbed, she said, "I lived such an enjoyable life." People were shocked. "But you struggled so much. How can you say it was enjoyable?" She smiled and replied, "Children, enjoyment can't be bought with money. It's about fully savoring each day." That's exactly it. Playing well means fully savoring each moment. Think about eating dinner with your family. Some people's minds are elsewhere. Even while eating, "I have that doctor's appointment. Tomorrow, how much will that cost? I wonder how my son is doing." Filled with such worries, they miss that precious time with family. They don't taste their food. They barely hear what their loved ones are saying. Others in the same situation are completely different. "This meal is delicious today. Look how well our grandson is eating. My husband looks relaxed today." They don't miss these things. That's what it means to play well. Here's another remarkable discovery: not missing the laughter we share, not clinging to what's past, not worrying in advance about what hasn't come. When you live this way, playing well becomes the same as living well. The Buddha said life is like a dream. When you think of it that way, everything we carry so heavily is really just shadows on the path we're traveling through. Buying a home, educating children, preparing for retirement, these things are important, of course. But if we sacrifice today for these things, if we give up the happiness of this moment, is that really living well? The fourth revelation. Here's the fourth amazing realization. The essence of play is not outcome, but flow. Not winning or losing, but the moments shared. Therefore, playing well means living wisely. Watch children at play again. They're not obsessed only with winning and losing. Sure, they're happy when they win and sad when they lose, but soon they're starting another game. They enjoy the process itself. They focus on the present moment rather than results. But what about us adults? Especially as we age, it's often heartbreaking to watch. So many people cling to results, unable to enjoy the process. What will I gain from this? Will this help me? What's the point at my age? Thinking only these thoughts, they miss the joy of the moment. Let me tell you a truly shocking story. A 70-year-old woman suddenly started learning to paint. Everyone tried to stop her. Why learn painting now? Are you trying to become an artist? She smiled and said, I'm not trying to become an artist. I just find it fun. But something amazing happened. After she started painting, her dementia symptoms improved significantly. Even her doctor was amazed. Why? Because of the power of play. Not thinking about results, focusing on the moment, it activated her brain. This is the difference between play for achievement and play for freedom. The fifth secret. The world constantly pulls us toward achievement-focused play. You must earn money, make a name for yourself, accomplish something. But wait, these are just one way of playing. The problem is, when you're absorbed only in this kind of play, you can't see other ways to play. Some people turn this play into war. Every day is a battle, a competition. I must do better than that person. I can't fall behind. They live with this mindset. Others turn the play into brutal training. They drive themselves relentlessly, treating rest as if it were sinful, losing themselves in the process. Play stops being play and becomes torture. Here comes the fifth tremendous realization. Playing through life means letting go rather than holding on. In the final moment, you take nothing with you. What remains are only traces, only echoes. Think about it. When you remember people who've passed away, what do you recall? Not how much money they had or how high their position was, but what kind of person they were, how they lived, what warmth they gave to those around them, what laughter they left behind. Let me tell you a real story. A businessman spent his whole life making money. He accumulated millions, built a large company. But after he passed at his funeral, people said, I don't really know what kind of person he was. He was always so busy. In contrast, there was a grandfather who ran a small corner store. He didn't have much, but he always greeted neighbors with a smile. When he passed, the whole neighborhood wept. Because of him, our neighborhood was warm. Which life was better played? The ancient philosopher Zhuangzi said, life comes like the wind and goes like the wind. It's true. When wind blows, we feel its coolness. After wind passes, the memory remains. We can't catch the wind itself, but the feeling it gives stays in our hearts. The sixth secret: aging in play. Here's where the greatest secret of play is revealed. When you cling to play, it becomes suffering. When you see play as freedom, it becomes liberation. Many people think when you're old, play is over. Your body aches, your memory fades, you have no money. But this is completely wrong. Actually, it's the opposite. As you age, play becomes deeper. Your body slows, your memory dims, but that's not the end of play. Rather, real play begins now. Here's the sixth amazing secret: competition disappears. Scorekeeping disappears. What remains is only laughter and memories. When you were young, it was all, I must be first. Faster, higher. I must outdo them. Even play was competition. But as you age, it's different. Just being together is nice. This moment is precious. Being able to laugh is something to be grateful for. Let me share a real story. An 80-year-old grandmother was playing at the park with her grandson. The grandson said, "Grandma, you should swing too." At first she said, "How can a grandmother swing?" But the grandson begged. So she tried it. In that moment, she was amazed. She felt as if she'd returned to childhood. After getting off the swing, she cried for a long time. "Are you crying from joy?" someone asked. "No," she said. "I'm crying because I'm grateful for everything." This is the power of play in old age. The ancient Greek philosopher Epictetus said, "What troubles us is not events, but how our mind interprets them." So the play of old age is about changing interpretation, transforming wounds into traces of play, turning pain into shadows of memory. For example, say your knees hurt and you can't hike like you used to. Some people think, "I'm old and can't do anything. I've become useless." But others think, "I've lived hard all these years. Now I can walk slowly and see the scenery more carefully. I'll notice things I never saw before." Same situation, but depending on interpretation, it becomes either suffering or new joy. Laughing with grandchildren, feeling the breeze, watching the sunset in late autumn, this too is life's deepest play. The seventh discovery. Sometimes people worry, if you just play, what happens to responsibility? This is completely misplaced worry. Actually, it's the opposite. People who play well have more responsibility. Why? Because through play, they gain peace of mind. You need peace of mind to consider others and judge situations wisely. Conversely, people who are too serious and rigid actually make more mistakes because stress clouds their judgment. Look at children. Children who play well also study well and get along with friends. Through play, they develop creativity and social skills. It's the same with adults. People who focus on work when working and truly rest when resting are more efficient. Being tense 247 leads to burnout, and then you can't do anything. The healing power of play. Here's the eighth amazing secret: play has healing power. You've heard that laughter's the best medicine, right? This isn't just a saying. It's scientifically proven. When you laugh, your body releases endorphins, happiness hormones that reduce stress and boost immunity. Hospitals even use laughter therapy. Let me tell you a shocking real case. Someone who'd had cancer surgery became severely depressed. The hospital said there wasn't much they could do, but their grandchildren came and asked them to play. At first they thought, "I'm not in the mood for this." But the children begged, so they had no choice but to play along. Something amazing happened. Playing and laughing like that, their spirit lifted and they recovered faster. Even the doctor was amazed, saying laughter seems to work better than medicine. This is the healing power of play. It has the remarkable ability to heal both body and mind simultaneously. The ninth revelation. Here comes the ninth realization: life's stage will close someday. What remains then is not a scorecard, but how lightly you dance through life. Light laughter lasts longer than heavy achievements. Think about it. When you remember your grandmother or grandfather who passed away, what comes to mind first? Not "my grandfather was a manager at his company," or "my grandmother was good at educating her children," but rather "my grandfather always smiled. My grandmother was always happy to see me." Those warm memories come first. Let me tell you another real story. When a teacher retired, former students visited and said, "We forgot all the math formulas you taught us, but we still remember the encouraging words you spoke with a smile." This is the power of play. Warm laughter lasts longer than serious teaching. A person who played well through life has a peaceful face. The wrinkles around their eyes are deep, but those wrinkles are a record of smiles, beautiful evidence of how much they laughed throughout life. A doctor once said, "I've seen many patients facing death. Those who passed peacefully had something in common. They never lost their laughter, even at the end." If you can begin with tears but leave with laughter, that's the best life. When you're born, the baby cries while people around smile. When you die, it's good if it's reversed, people around are sad. But you can smile peacefully thinking, I played well," as you depart. The 10th and final secret. So don't take today too seriously. Of course, you must do what needs to be done. But even amid that, don't miss the small joys. The breeze coming through the window when you wake up, the aroma of a cup of coffee, a family member's greeting, a neighbor's hello on the street. All these small things are materials for play. Life's essence is not a funeral home, but a playground. We come briefly, play well, and go. Don't think too heavily. Of course, you should live with responsibility and sincerity, but even amid that, don't lose the spirit of play. Some people ask, if life is play, does that mean I can live any way I want? No. Even play has rules. Soccer has rules. Chess has rules. The play called life has rules too. Don't harm others. Value yourself. Live honestly. Keep promises. Show respect. These are the basic rules of life's play. Within those rules, play as joyfully and meaningfully as possible. Then it becomes play, growth, and contribution all at once. Starting today. Start small today. When you're with family, put down your phone and talk. Not just any conversation, enjoyable conversation. Did anything fun happen today? Should we talk about when we were young? When meeting friends, don't just talk about worries, share happy stories too. What's something fun you've been watching? Should we do something fun together? Even when alone, start your day thinking, what shall I play at today? It doesn't have to be something big. Listening to music you love, looking at beautiful flowers, drinking delicious tea, all these small things can be play. Living this way, before you know it, your life will become not a heavy burden, but joyful play. And looking back later, you'll smile with satisfaction. Ah, I really played well. The most important time is now. But the most important thing is now. The past is already gone. The future hasn't arrived yet. The only time we can play is right now. What are you doing at this moment? You're listening to this message, right? Then this too is a kind of play, the play of hearing new thoughts, learning new perspectives, and feeling your heart lighten. After this message ends, another play awaits conversation. With family, meeting with friends, time alone, everything can become play. What matters is your mindset. This too is enjoyable play. This moment is also a precious gift. Think this way, and everything becomes a playground. Full circle. Let me return to the 80-year-old grandfather from the beginning. To this day, every morning, he looks in the mirror and says, let's play well today. And at night before bed, he says, I played well today. Thank you. His grandson asked, Grandpa, you say the same thing every day. Don't you get bored? The grandfather smiled and replied, Child, how could I be bored when I play something different every day? Today's meal tastes different from yesterday's. Today's breeze is different from yesterday's. And you today are different from you yesterday. It's true. Even what seems like the same routine is different each day if you look closely. Every day, new play awaits. Why don't you try living like that grandfather starting today? In the morning when you wake, what shall I play at today? At night before sleep, I played well today. Thank you. Just these two phrases can change your life. Remember this, life is about playing well and moving on. Please engrave this one sentence deep in your heart. Don't live too seriously. Of course, live sincerely, but enjoy the process. Don't cling only to results. The process itself is beautiful play. Don't play alone all the time. Play with people you can laugh with. And above all, don't miss this moment. Right now is the time you can play. I sincerely hope that all of you play well on the playground called life. Play joyfully today. And tomorrow and the day after, discovering new play every day. Life is about playing well and moving on. Keeping this message in your heart, I'll close today's story. Thank you.